Third versus Fifth Dimensional Relationships. By Ilona and Hress. September 12, 2016. Website: growingconsciousness.com. Produced by Higher Self.
Fifth dimensional relationships generate freedom and joy. Each relationship is an investment in the people, places, and kingdoms of nature that are being interconnected. The unconditional loving from which fifth-dimensional relationships emerge creates change by offering an environment in which the opportunities for evolutionary development are gracefully accessed and successfully utilized by all involved. There are distinct differences between third and fifth-dimensional relationships, based upon the purpose of the dimensional experience. The fifth-dimensional qualities defined below facilitate an unconditionally loving experience. By providing the criteria by which to monitor your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and behaviors, you can both build and support fifth-dimensional relationships out of the third-dimensional relationships in your own life. Built to break versus built to sustain themselves. All third-dimensional relationships were built to break. Our job as third-dimensional human beings was to experience separation, loss, and fear. Humanity agreed to participate in this divine experiment of amnesia that required our civilization to find its way back to its source of its own free will. Humans are experts in suffering, as we took this task seriously and became quite skilled in hurting ourselves and the kingdoms of nature supporting our experiment. We learned to destroy connection rather than honor it, to the point that we were in danger of destroying our civilization and the world in which we lived. Fifth-dimensional relationships are built to sustain themselves. They eternally exist within the context of creation, and their experience on the earth plane is one of reconnection with our divine nature, the essence of our being. Your fifth-dimensional soul family supported your journey on earth through an ignorant human mind, by providing you with a group of beings who incarnated with you over and over again. Known as your soul group, these individuals played different familial and community roles over your multiple incarnations, always supporting your growing evolutionary awareness that there is more to life than fear and pain. Because your human mind could not conceive the soul connections continually supporting it, you felt abandoned, alone, and often emotionally tortured through specific patterns of behavior lifetime after lifetime. Until now. Delusional human intimacy versus connected soul intimacy. Because the third-dimensional world is an experience of loss, fear, and separation, humans naturally create experiences that will fail. Our intimate experiences are fleeting and marked by emotional highs and lows that denote a false sense of connection. We literally have a relationship with our dreams, ideas, or beliefs about the experiences we are having. That is the essence of a delusion. But this delusion is one that the entire civilization shares. We fall in love only to fall out of love. We have the perfect job, only to be disappointed when it fails to meet our expectations. We live in the most wonderful place, until it isn't so wonderful anymore. Delusional human intimacy is a real third-dimensional experience that promotes discontent, emptiness, and a constant searching for that which is missing. Soul intimacy is created from a deep sense of purpose and meaning within our connectedness. It is based in the reality of our inherent oneness and permeates our individual lives in uniquely sacred ways. Our fifth-dimensional relationships are always purposeful. They are never casual, nor do they waste an ounce of our life force on concerns that are significant in the third-dimensional world. Soul intimacy provides evolving human beings with an experience of intimate reverence that facilitates collaboration, equality, and a deep sense of appreciation for the role that is being played, the service being offered, and the loving that is unfolding. The purpose of the relationship is understood so deeply that those involved not only respect the opportunity in which they are participating, they deeply commit to fulfilling the work they have come together to accomplish. In this knowing, all involved in fifth-dimensional relationships experience a deep sense of satisfaction and joy. physical exertion and sex versus sensual creativity. Because third-dimensional relationships are fragile creations in the human mind and heart, they need to be grounded into physical expression to make them real. Physical exertion is the outpicturing of the internal idea or a dream into third-dimensional experience. Thus, sex makes a delusional human intimate relationship physically real. An athlete winning a sports competition realizes overcoming a physical challenge. An actor or musician performs a composition to a live audience and receives feedback on his or her experiential offering. All these physical experiences concretize third-dimensional energy and offer the dual experience of success or failure, winning or losing, becoming part of or being abandoned. Third-dimensional physical experiences are not only fragile, they end. The concert is over, the competition is completed, a sexual relationship falls apart. Humans are left empty, even after successful moments, looking for ever more physical validation. Fifth-dimensional relationships energetically build upon the connections, calling them into being physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Creativity emerges from these connections and expresses itself through multidimensional sensuality. The electromagnetic energies of unconditional loving and creative collaboration move through the physical cells of the body, allowing the human form to transmit fifth-dimensional frequencies into third-dimensional physical experiences. This is a continuous experience of life force creatively moving through all of your senses. Touch becomes a means of energetic expression rather than physical labor. Sight, sound, hearing, and taste become purposeful venues through which unconditional loving unfolds in specific ways that support the evolution of all involved in the relationship. This is the basis through which energy works, such as Reiki or healing touch facilitates healing of the third-dimensional body. It is also the means by which intimate partners energetically connect through the chakra system, merging into one and giving birth to new life within each other and for life itself. Engaging in sensual creativity is an act of beauty that continuously infuses you with greater life force. It inspires you to consciously co-create intimacy in relationship to another and within your world. As your ability to creatively sensually connect increases, so does your joy in living. External success versus internal fulfillment. Third-dimensional relationships are self-esteem busters because they rely on external confirmation to determine their validity. Because the relationship is built for a third-dimensional experience of separation and failure, mental insecurity and emotional volatility are necessarily inherent in the process. We seek acknowledgement and praise for whatever we accomplish and tend to feel hurt or disrespected if approval is not provided. The human ego is ever vigilant, scanning for danger to what it considers to be successful from its vantage point. Divorce, getting fired, being thrown off the team or out of the band constitute human failure. Enough failures and your sense of self becomes hurt, then disfigured, and even unrecognizable to yourself and everyone else. Fifth-dimensional relationships generate self-esteem. As you become aware of your power to lovingly co-create with another, your respect and appreciation for yourself as well as the other grows. The focus of your attention is internal as you grow in life force and multidimensional awareness, understanding the importance of your relationship and its greater purpose in the world. As a fifth-dimensional collaborator, you show up in relationships already committed to the work at hand and confident of your talents and abilities. You are eager to embrace the unfolding process, supporting the others involved and being supported yourself. You experience the opportunity to contribute to the evolution of the world as a gift that you have to give, and for which you will be honored. External allegiance versus internal support. Third-dimensional relationships engage power struggles to promote dominance and submission. In the dualistic plane of the third dimension, the ego creates dramas that ensnare the heart and enslave the body. War results, internally, within families, and among nations. Third-dimensional life is already fragile, but without external allegiances, That fragility gives way to a fearful vulnerability that bursts into panic. Whenever an idea, dream, or experience is threatened in the third dimension, those humans sharing that perspective seek each other out to prove themselves right, just, valid, and significant, regardless of the cost. Human life is expendable if you are not on the same side. And someone else tells you what side you should be on. Whether it be in court, in governmental offices, houses of worship, or neighbors' kitchens, human beings look to each other for like-minded support and recognition of worth. For those experiencing fifth-dimensional relationships, vulnerability builds unconditional loving. Because they are energetically connected to the source of creativity, fifth-dimensional soul-embodied human beings look within for support, direction, and guidance. They trust themselves so that they can show up for each other completely, clearly, and openly. They are collaborators trusting that each other is devoted to the highest evolutionary choices available. Open to learning all there is to know and flowing into mutual experiences with respect and appreciation, they honor each other and life itself as it unfolds. They are flexible, creative, ingenious, and filled with wonder as they work together on projects that serve the greater good and contribute to a life of peace. Their experience of vulnerability offers safety as a way of life. Focused on linear physicality versus focused on quantum energetics. Human beings living third-dimensionally have to be in control of their relationships, otherwise they will fall apart. Since they are built to break, these fragile relationships must be buttressed by external sources in a recognized pattern of activity that supports their viability. Families literally keep each other alive in many parts of the world. Corporations follow protocols to make profits that keep them in business and their employees working. Governments create policies that support the functioning of their nations according to the resources available on their lands and the productivity of their citizenry. These linear necessities comprise the experience of third-dimensional living and require controlled responses to support this dimensional experience of life. Fifth-dimensional life is an experience of quantum mechanics while living in a human body. It is the fluid participation of multidimensionally living within the unity of creation. The concept of divine timing is helpful in understanding the quantum experience of situations, relationships, and opportunities unfolding at precise moments that change the course of an individual's life, the life of a family, the future of a business, the stability of a nation, the health of a civilization. Creativity is the hallmark by which quantum responses to unfolding experiences occur. Energy is directed to provide assistance and support simultaneously within multiple dimensions so that all engaged are given what is required for them to fulfill themselves in their respective dimensional opportunities. The human mind cannot comprehend multidimensional mechanics. It is, however, affected by it in the form of guidance, inspiration, and intuition. The most obvious experience of quantum mechanics in third-dimensional living is grace. Death versus life. Because third-dimensional relationships are not meant to last, they will inevitably incur multiple experiences of dying. Death, the ultimate form of separation, happens slowly in the loss of hopes and dreams, or quickly as in being fired from a job, or the accidental death of a loved one. Whether fast or slow, an irreconcilable experience of loss creates a spiritual crisis that was to provoke connection. However, in the earthly experience, death began to reinforce the disintegration of the heart of humanity and furthered its descent into the ego of physicality. Lost in the desire to prolong life at all costs, the purpose of living was lost to the experience of living. Without a compass by which to understand life, humanity created its own spiral of deathly discontent, almost annihilating itself. Because fifth-dimensional relationships consciously exist within the unity of creation, connection is already a lived experience. As purpose guides relationships to fulfillment and collaboration supports multidimensional celebration, Life is honored in every phase of its existence. Completion is valued and honored. It is not experienced as death. Evolution is recognized as the source of continuity within and between dimensions. Instead of mourning the loss of connection with a loved one, another greater level of relationship emerges. However, this level of contact is only possible from the fifth-dimensional perspective in and through which you continue to meet each other. The common description of heaven as a place of peace, safety, love, and beauty is a third-dimensional expression of fifth-dimensional living. It has been placed as otherworldly because, up until now, you had to die to experience it. This is no longer the case. Fifth-dimensional relationships are no longer a dream on the earth. They are realities that we make each day by choosing higher dimensional responses to third-dimensional experiences. We are an evolving species whose intimate relationships chart the course for the future of a soul-embodied humanity. Developing your personal fifth-dimensional relationships is the perfect place to start experiencing the reality of fifth-dimensional unconditionally loving joy. As you do, you pioneer the way for others to grow into the courage and grace you are lovingly offering to the world right now.